and why did you start the Herren Project?
I don't know how easy that is. That's actually kind of a fastball right off the rip. You know, there was a time in my life where I was hopeless. You know, there was a time in my life that, you know, sobriety and recovery, I really didn't know if it was worth it. I believed that I had fallen so far in life that there was really no comeback. So, you know, when I was at my lowest point and struggling and multiple overdoses, I was offered an opportunity to go to treatment. And that opportunity came from a family out in California, the Mullins. And, you know, by the grace of God, I took that opportunity and I checked into treatment. And while I was in treatment, you know, there was plenty of self-reflection and trying to figure out my purpose in life. I wanted to help people. I wanted to be that family on the other side of the phone call. And, you know, the Herren Project, you know, initially was just about giving people an opportunity and giving some hope and trying to get them support and help. And, you know, to be on the other side of that phone call today, you know, to have an opportunity to help others is unbelievably special and something that, you know, that I cherish and everyone at the Herren Project as well. We, you know, I have so many people that work at the Herren Project that share the same compassion, same passion around, you know, support, recovery, education, prevention, intervention, family. And, you know, to watch what the Herren Project has become over the last 10 years is beyond, you know, wildest dreams.
Yeah, that's thank you for sharing that. That's absolutely a great answer to that question. And I can say that being here for the last year and going on, I think like 2 or 3 months, it has been a fantastic journey. And I've loved working for the Herren Project every minute. And I can retweet that everyone here, they are so compassionate and passionate for the work and really living out why this organization started in the first place. So definitely thank you.
Yeah.
That's what I want to say. Thank you.
And it's amazing to see how much it's grown over the past few years and how many people it's affected.
It is. And, you know, and not, you know, Maggie, like, I'm unbelievably proud of you. You know, to have the courage to do what you do and your friends do. And, you know, to step out and write a blog. You know, I know you personally, I know your family. And it's just, you know, it's just heartwarming. It's truly special to watch, you know, a young lady like yourself kind of embrace the message and not only embrace it, right, but really speak it and live it. And you are an unbelievable example of what, you know, the youth ambassadors and what we aim for at Herren.
Our next question, and it says, is there any way to tell who is more susceptible to addiction? And is there a way to avoid it?
I mean, the best way to avoid it is to never start, right? I mean, that's the greatest approach to prevention, is to never start. But I think there's multiple pathways. You know, trauma. I saw this really cool thing from a Herren Project. I believe it was a Herren Project runner who said the gateway to addiction is trauma. The gateway drug to addiction is trauma, and you know, whether it's genetic or trauma or peer pressure or culture, you know, anxiety, stress. There's so many pathways to the beginning. but as I was going to say in that last question, the ultimate goal in this is to have wellness as a core class.
Mhm.
That kids show up to school every day and they learn coping skills and ways to communicate and
Mhm.
social and emotional health and meditation and all of it. To think that we're in 2021 and coming out of an unbelievably difficult year, both physically and emotionally for so many, and wellness is not a core class in our school system, to me is sad and it's tragic. So hopefully one day, if we keep advocating and pushing the messaging, we'll see children go to school and bring home wellness books
Mm.
you know uh, and just be more aware of what can happen.
Mhm. Yeah. No, I agree. That's a great point though, that we're coming out of such a hard year and there's we've had just so much happen in the past year and we don't people sometimes they just don't know how to communicate and that they're not learning about anxiety and mental health as much as they should in their schools. There's just so many factors to it and I couldn't have said it any better. I agree with that. Um So I guess part of this conversation leads into our next question again. How does that first day lead to the start of addiction?
I think we're kind of been dancing around all of this, right, a little bit. So the first day, I mean, as I mentioned, I mean, all of us who suffer from substance use disorder, all of us who suffer, um, you know we had no idea the impact of the first day. um, I've never met anyone that aspired to suffer the way we suffer and or sign up for that type of life. So it's and unfortunately, I think that's where we're missing out so an opportunity that the education to children that there are so many variables that can influence addiction in your life, especially in the adolescent and the teenage years.
Maggie, do you have another one?
Yeah. My friend drinks a lot at parties. How do I tell him to slow down and that it could be dangerous to their future?
That's probably one of the most common questions I get from kids is, how do I approach a friend that is struggling? I don't think any child, I don't think any adolescent, any teenager really should shoulder the responsibility of a peer's struggling or suffering. Um, I think it's unbelievably important to get an adult involved with that friend, to help that friend, to put them on the right path, um, and just bring awareness to them that what people are seeing is concerning. Uh, but that's right there is a small piece of the work that still needs to be done, because the answer to that question should be immediate. Go to an adult.
Hmm.
If you saw a friend who was in a bathroom, sick, vomiting, struggling, losing weight, uh, passing out, fainting, you immediately go to adults.
Hmm.
So any other sickness, any other struggle as children, we want to take that responsibility off of ourselves and give it to an adult who can properly manage the situation.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, when it comes to substance use, uh, kids feel like they have to keep it a secret, and they don't know what to do with it. And the reality is it's pretty simple. And to me, it's you have to make adults aware of your friend's struggle.
I will 150% second that. If I could retweet that 15 times, I would do that because I think that that's so true. I feel like, there's so many kids who do unfortunately keep it a secret. One, because they might be shamed, their peers might shame them. potentially parents might shame them, or anything else, and that adult can be someone you trust and someone that you know can effectively help the situation without potentially escalating it even further. So I'm not even going to repeat what you said because I think that just needs to be retweeted times 15. So
Yeah.
So I guess in addition to this, someone ask, does one beer at a party really put me at risk?
I can't answer that question.
Mm-hmm.
I know if you go down the same pathway that I went down, you would feel that that one beer at the party puts you at extreme risk. The reality is, there's kids that are going to walk away, but the risk and the consequence and the pain and the suffering, not only for that child, that teenager, but the pain that comes with the family, the heartbreak, the tears, there's so much behind it. Did I think that my first beer at the party would lead me to this? I did not. As a matter of fact, it probably took me till I was 18 years old to understand that I had a problem. And what became so glaring to me at 18 years old was that I became a Division I basketball player, and part of the agreement to play Division I sports, you're subjected to random drug testing, and I had an extremely difficult time passing drug tests and not using a substance for coping. So yes, one beer, it could be unbelievable consequences attached to that first beer. I'm not going to sit here and say that, there's kids out there that will never suffer from what we suffer from, what I suffer from. But the thing for me is, why? Why at 15 years old do you need a beer to hang out at a party? Why can't you hang out with kids that you've known your whole life on a Friday night and just be yourself? I said this today. I wish, and not like I don't want to sound that like I'm pointing the finger, but I wish there was an adult in my life that came up to me when I was 16 and said, like, you're really good at basketball, we get it, but you're really, really bad at being yourself. It's really sad to see that, with so much promise and future in front of you, that you struggle, at 15, 16, 17 years old in your best friend's basement that you've known since you were 5 years old. So I think that the question is why the first beer, A, and B, it's we have to be better at challenging our children to be better and feel better emotionally and socially.
Yeah.
I'm going to retweet that again another 10
Yeah,
times.
I think it's exactly like you said, how you never really know who exactly has it, where you could walk away fine, but others will look back and think that they wish they never did that.
I remember being in high school and hanging out with kids that didn't, right? And I wish if I could go back to like 1994, and I wish I got off a couch that I was sitting on in a basement drinking, and I wish I walked up to that kid, gave him a high five and a hug, and said, like, I'm really in awe. That at 16 years old you can hang out down here and not have to do it. I never did that. I never shook their hand. I never high-fived them. I never hugged them and told them. But there was always a small part of me when I was younger that was somewhat in awe of their ability to be themselves 24/7.
All right. Maggie, do you want to ask our last question for the night?
Yes. Do you have any advice you would give to teens like me that have or are going to face peer pressure?
I mean, Maggie, I should just really, and I won't do this to you. I should ask you that question. You know, I should ask you how you have faced the adversity of peer pressure, because, you know, as I said, you were one of the kids that I would have walked over, high-fived, and hugged and said, you know, I don't want to sound condescending, but I'm unbelievably proud of you. You know, like, whatever you have inside of you is unbelievably special, and don't ever lose sight of that. You know, you are the example. You are the kid that I wish I was. You know, you are the kid that my kids, that I'm very proud of. My children have never. You know, I can look at my daughter Samantha and Christopher and you know, with just so much joy and gratitude of the young adults that they've become, and the adversity through self-esteem and self-worth and confidence that they've been able to overcome. You know, but I'm sitting with one tonight, and that is you, Maggie. And you know, you are the example of what
Thank
kids
you.
you know, should aspire to be.
Thank you so much Chris for joining us tonight. We really appreciated this fantastic discussion, and as we always say here at the Herren Project, starting the conversation. So we appreciate you significantly. Thank you.
Thank you both so much. Take care.